Hey y'all, today we're making John Wayne casserole. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out. I've been a little under the weather, so if I get a little sniffly and snarfly, just bear with me, okay? So the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and get you an onion diced up, and then go ahead also and get your oven preheated to 325. Now, my sister had texted me about this recipe and said that they used to have it at the hospital that she worked at many, many moons ago, and that it was really good. So I said, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I will give it a shot. But, I watched a lot of videos, looked at a lot of recipes on a lot of different platforms, and I couldn't find anything that exact recipe sounded good. So I kind of took from here, there, and everywhere, and this is the version that I came up with, okay? So go ahead and add your about a pound of ground beef and the onion you diced up right to your pan, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to get this all browned up, okay? So like I said, you're going to obviously see what I put into this, but I'm also going to tell you along the way maybe some other things you could substitute, because I just kind of used what I had at my house and went by that. So, like I said, get your meat all browned up, meat brown, onion soft, and then once you get everything all cooked up, add you in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. You can chop your own up if you would like. I like the jarred stuff. It makes my life easier. And then you're going to let that cook for about 30 seconds or so, okay? Doesn't take long once you put the garlic in there. And then once that's done cooking, once my garlic is done cooking, I just went ahead and drained my meat, because you don't want a greasy casserole. So make sure you drain your meat good. So now you're going to add in 1 can of petite diced tomatoes and 1 can of diced green chilies. Whatever level of heat you like, you can use whatever kind you want. Y'all know I use the mild because I'm a wimp. But if you don't have this, rotel works just fine. Use a can of rotel. But I didn't have rotel, because I would have used that if I'd have had it, but I didn't, so this is the route I went. But see, that's another way. See, you use what you have in your cabinet. And I did leave the juice in there because we were going to add water anyway. So then I added a little bit of water, and then I'm going to add in some taco seasoning. Now, you can use a packet of taco seasoning. I usually use a little more than what's in a packet anyway. So just use ever how much taco seasoning you like when you make taco meat, because that's essentially what we're doing. We're making taco meat, but we added some diced green chilies and some tomatoes to it, okay? So let that cook while you get the next step ready. And you just want to let that cook until the juice is all absorbed, okay? Just like you would regular taco meat. So to a greased 9x13 pan, I'm going to add 1 can of these jumbo canned biscuits. You can use whatever kind of biscuits you want. You can use the small ones. You can use the big ones. You can use the layers, the butter flavor, whatever kind you got will work just fine. You could also use crescent rolls, or you can, if you have bisquick or something, you can make your own little biscuit dough to put down there on the bottom. Now, this was something that varied from recipe to recipe, whether to cook the biscuits or not, but I cooked mine for about 10-12 minutes. Not completely done, but just enough so they wouldn't be super soggy, once I added everything to it. So for my cheesy layer for this, I'm using 1 container of this whipped cream cheese with chives. Y'all, if you like chives, this stuff is delicious. I highly recommend it. But if you don't have this, or you can't find this, or you don't want to go buy this, you can use regular cream cheese if you want to, and just season it up. So then I'm going to add in about a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Now, I use Blue Plate because that's the only thing my daughter would eat growing up. And I don't really eat mayonnaise. I just kind of use it in stuff, when I'm cooking sometimes. So it doesn't really matter to me which brand it is. But this way, if she ever comes to my house, now that she's grown and gone, but when she comes over to eat, it's the right kind of mayonnaise. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, excuse me. Go ahead and add in a little handful of mozzarella, and then we're going to add in a couple handfuls of this cheddar cheese, okay? And those are the gargantuan bags that you get at Sam's, of course, because the way that I cook around here these days, I go through a lot of cheese, y'all. So mix that up good, and then we're going to season it up a little bit. I'm adding, you already know, I don't even have to say it, but I will for anybody who's new. Onion, garlic, salt, and pepper. That's what I'm adding to mine. I don't want to over season this because we've got the taco seasoning in the meat, and we've also got the chive flavored whipped cream. So I didn't want it to turn into a weird flavor from too much stuff that's kind of fighting against each other, if that makes sense. So mix that up good. Now you can see my biscuits are not done. They're just a little bit done. Like I said, about 10 or 12 minutes on 325. That's the way that I cooked mine. It's your choice if you want to do that or not. Mine was not soggy when I cooked it. So just FYI, I know for sure that if you par cook them a little bit, isn't that what it's called? Cook them a little bit ahead of time. Then they won't be soggy. At least mine were not. Now, I can't verify that they won't be if you leave them in there raw. Just take a chance. Do what you want. So once I got my biscuits out of the oven, I went ahead and added all that meat. I made sure that all the juice, was absorbed or cooked out of it or cooked into it or however you want to say it. And then we're going to add down our cheesy layer that we made, okay? So I'm just kind of dolloping that around because, if you just try to spread this, you're going to end up with a muddy mess of meat and cheese, which is really honestly not going to matter, y'all, because it's all going to the same place anyway. But I wanted layers. So I just take the tip of my little spoon, my little silicone spoon there, and I just very carefully and gently spread that out. And that's the easiest way if you have this kind of a cheese layer that you need to spread on top of meat that's going to move. The tip of your spoon works fantastic. So once you get that on, you already know more cheese. You can't have too much cheese. I tell y'all that all the time. Unless you're lactose intolerant, but we're not going to have that conversation. Okay, so I went ahead and added a good layer of cheese on top, and you can use whatever kind of cheese you want, or you don't have to put any on there if you don't want any extra cheese on there, because we do have cheese in our cream cheese mixture, But I thought, layer of cheddar cheese is not going to hurt nobody, right? So go ahead and just put that on there, spread it out, all over, want a little bit of cheese in every bite. And then just for kicks, I went ahead and added a little tiny bit of mozzarella, since we had mixed mozzarella in with it anyway. But if you wanted to kind of kick this up a notch, you could definitely add pepper jack cheese or something to this. That would be fantastic, but whatever you want. All right, pop that in the oven, y'all, 325 for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just watch it. Make sure that your cheese is good and melted, okay? So this is it, y'all. John Wayne casserole. It's really good, and I thought it would be weird leftover because of the biscuits, they maybe would get soggy leftover, but they're absolutely not. It's delicious leftover too, so there you go. All right, that's all I've got for y'all today. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.